Hello, Anthony.
Hello, Claudine.
You're looking tall and dapper over there.
Yeah, you noticed anything different today?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, when you're talking about Form 5471 schedules, you have to make it as interesting as possible.
This is my
thank you.
Form 5471 outfit.
I like it.
I picked it up months ago because I knew we were going to have this day. And I was like, come on, make it special. So it's a custom. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Fancy.
It's nice.
Okay, now we've been doing a series on Form 5471. So far, we've touched on controlled foreign corporations, the crazy history, the categories, and also the penalties.
That's right.
Which they're not focused on right now, but could be in the future. We'll make sure we put a link below. Today, we want to talk about Form 5471 schedules. And it can be overwhelming and confusing. We're going to try to make as much sense as we can. But I think we want to lead by saying we're not going to tell you exactly how to fill out the forms. That would be a year's worth of...
Right. You would, if we were going to go over all the 5471s, that'd likely be a semester's worth of high-level classes. After years of prerequisites,
Yes.
you would have to do that. So we're really not going to do that. We don't want to do that. We want to make it a little lighter, just sort of give you an idea of what you're looking at when, just sort of giving you the landscape of what 5471 land looks like.
Yes. Okay. So you know what schedule you need to file, and that's based on what category filer you are.
Right. And we sort of had some fun yesterday about how crazy the categories were. But now this is when it actually makes sense.
Yes.
The craziness of the complicated categories makes sense because now it's easier to figure out which schedules you do need to file.
Okay. So we'll talk about category. Your category is determined by the ownership percentage of the foreign corporation.
Among other things.
Yes.
Right.
But the big part. There's 12 different schedules, and we couldn't find anyone that would only have to fill out Form 5471 unless you have a dormant corporation, which we're going to do in a future video. So pretty much if you're filling out Form 5471, you're filling out an additional schedule.
That's right.
Bottom line.
That's just the way it is. And then if you're also filling out a Form 5471, you might not be filling out everything on the form. So there's some that you'll have to, there's only one filer, I believe, that has to file everything on
Yes,
the
which surprised me.
5471. But all other filers, there's things they leave off on the actual form, and then there's additional schedules.
Yes. Okay, so the first 8 schedules are literally on Form 5471.
Right.
So you've got schedules A, B, C, no D. They skipped D. E.
I know. What happened that day? I wonder, sometimes, maybe they had separate committees saying, okay, I'm going to handle this, I'm going to handle this, I'm going to handle this. And they all came together. No one had D.
Just leave it out.
Yeah, that's all right.
So A, B, C, E, F, G, H, and I are all on 5471. So if you have to fill those out, that's what you need.
Right, and this is, the thing is kind of confusing too, is you have Schedule A on your 1040, right? That's a very common form. So it can be kind of hard to find your Schedule A for 5471. Where is it? You're looking all over for it. It's actually on the form.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking, I was going to print out every one, and then I was like, I don't
right.
have
It's
to.
easy.
The only things that are separate are Schedule J, M, and O, Part 1 and 2, are both on the same form.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you could have maybe just gone to Schedule O and then a Schedule
P?
Oh, wait, they're missing an N.
Yes, they're also missing N.
Right.
D and N, just no.
What? Just like, no, we just don't. And K is nowhere to be found either.
Yep.
People forget about K. Oh, that's just, it's going to be a tough day. These realizations are very difficult.
They're flying at us. Okay, so there is no Category 1 filer. We know that.
Right.
So let's talk about
and that has been repealed. That's how we know that.
Yeah. Let's talk about, for instance, a Category 2 filer.
Right,
Okay.
which is, I would say, the simplest filer
Yes.
that are out there.
They have a 10% ownership requirement.
Okay.
Okay. So they are going to file Schedule G, Schedule O, Part 1. That's it. So Schedule G is on Form 5471, and then they would have to print out Schedule O separately and attach it.
And your O is Part 1 is a lot better than Part 2.
Part 1 is, Schedule O is organization or reorganization of foreign corporation and acquisitions and dispositions of its stock. Gotta love the IRS. Part 1 is, what was that? Okay. Part 1 is to be completed by U.S. officers and directors. Little tiny bit of information, just this little bit right here. Part 2 is to be completed by U.S. shareholders. Rest of the page and
the back
entire
of the
back of the page.
right.
Yeah. So O is it depends on which one you get. So if you're category 2, not a ton of work to do there.
Right. And by the way, everybody has to fill out the one schedule that everybody has to fill out, or it's not the entire schedule, but the identification part on schedule, above Schedule A. But not everybody has to file Schedule A. Yeah.
Everybody does have to do Schedule G. But we do as another example. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Bingo.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as another example, we wanted to talk about category 4 because they seem to get the, I don't want to use that expression.
Hey, did you just pull an IRS and just skip an entire number?
Oh, you want to talk about 3?
Well, I don't know. 3 is there.
Okay,
I mean,
let's talk about
3
category
seems,
3.
God, it's a quality number.
It's my favorite.
What could you have wrong with 3?
So category 3 filer, you're filling out schedules A, B, C, E, and F, which are all one line, G, and then the separate schedule would be Schedule O, Part 2, not Part 1. So a lot more work there if you're a category 3 filer.
Yeah.
It's starting to get worse and worse.
Yeah, it starts to get worse and worse. And just, these forms they're not organized right. If you're, I know you like to organize things, make sure there's a logic behind,
sense, yes.
Right. That's what sort of drives you nuts is the logic of how you're labeling things. Like, no, like I remember like one of the worst parts about law school was that you would do an outline of the lesson and you would be so fixated, you would go back and study, you'd be so fixated on formatting your outline so much as opposed to actually what's the content.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a second, what do I care if it's an A or B or a 2? Get rid of the whole thing. And then I just started getting rid of it. It's like, I know what I'm talking about. I know my own notes. I don't need to have this. Okay, make sure it's formatted right. This is not a professional thing I'm trying to sell. So you just sort of have to have the same thing. Like, look, don't worry so much. It's the IRS. Get the stuff in there to the best of your knowledge.
There's going to be a D and K missing here and there.
That just happens. Okay. You just got to expect that.
Category 4 filer. Yes, this if you're category 4, you're going to be doing a lot of work. You have schedules A, B, C, E, and F, G, H, I, J, M. The only thing you don't have to fill out is Schedule O.
Right, you got out of that. Yeah, but it's definitely when you're looking at the schedules. Schedule J is your accumulated earnings and profits of a controlled foreign corporation, and then Schedule M is where your transactions between controlled foreign corporations of shareholders or related parties. And so this is really a big focus of the IRS too. So Schedule J and M of your 5471. Yeah, these are. These are no joke.
No, and we had talked about the amount of time it takes to fill out Form 5471 on its own. If you're filling out Schedule J, it's about another 6 hours. If you're filling out Schedule M, it's another 33 hours. And if you're filling out Schedule O, about 12, 13 hours. I would say
they're under, look, I don't really agree with the time. I mean, exactly the time. Some can be more and less. There's a variance, and that would be the average. But I would say that Schedule M is a little bit light. They're giving a little bit light because it tends to be more than that. When, they're going to be close to the similar amount of time when you're looking at it. It tends to. Now, of course, it could be a little bit different, if you don't have a lot of, transactions between, if you have few, then it wouldn't be that much.
And part of the reason that Category 4 is so much higher than everybody else, the amount of information they need, is that's 50% ownership, among other things, but that's the big one.
Yeah.
And then finally, Category 5, you're going to be filling out G, H, I, and J, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So J would be the one that you would have to print out and attached to your 5471.
Now, here's something. Now we represent individual shareholders, and this is the issue that hasn't come up, and I think this might be something I have to look into because here's my question, because we know that if someone else files a Form 5471, you don't have to file it. Right? You could just say, see attached, or you put a copy. This has been filed, or give them the identification number. Hey, you're going to find a Form 5471. This person filed it. Here, you'll see it. It's all there. And you put that and you mark that on your 8938 that it's there.
Yep.
Now, maybe you could shoot me down quickly here and say that's the dumbest question. we're all dumber for even hearing it. But let's just go for it. Let's say that somebody is a Schedule 3 filer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And so they have Schedule O, Part 2. Now,
I see where you're going.
yeah. So let's look at Schedule O Part 2 is to be completed by the U.S. shareholders. Okay, so and let's say they do that. Now, let's say there's somebody else that is not the shareholder, but he's a U.S. officer and director. Well, there's been a 5471 filed, but it doesn't include their information. I'm going to have to ask Sean about this one. I think I might have found it. He'll know this question probably off the top of his.
We always think we have the best. Like we've broken the IRS, and he's
then
like, no,
he's like, oh, don't do that. I'm like, all right. So I'm going to ask him that question, and my guess, and this is all right. I'm going to play Wheel of IRS, because I'm pretty good at sort of figuring out. There's probably something in there that says you have to file a Schedule O, Part 1, and then see attached for the rest. That's my guess.
Okay.
So I think we're going to have to do that maybe in our next video on the one we're going to do on dormant.
Yes.
That would be a good place to hit that. So in our next video on our 5471 series, we're going to answer that question.
Perfect. All right. If you have any questions, you can comment below. You can like this video. You can share it. You can also subscribe to our channel for updates on Form 5471 and other awesome tax info. Thanks for watching. IRS Medic, the law offices of Parent & Parent, LLP. Real tax attorneys for tough tax problems.